This is my $2,000 Partscaster. 2 years ago, my guitar teacher Perry built this for me from scratch. This is Christian, a master luthier and the owner of Colfax Guitar Shop here in Denver, Colorado. And today, he's gonna dissect my Partscaster. He's gonna go over every aspect, the paint job, the bridge, the trem, the tuners, the nut, the neck. And we're gonna see how well a Partscaster can hold up to a factory-made guitar. It's gonna be a great video for you guys to see what all goes into making a Partscaster, the pros, the cons, whether it's something that you should invest your money into. And with all that out of the way, we're gonna head to the shop. Once Christian's done going over this thing and rating it, we're gonna bring it back, plug it in, see how it sounds. Super excited to see what he has to say. A little bit nervous. There's nothing to it but to do it at this point. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that right now. Let's head to the shop.
All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just evaluate the guitar. Like I do any guitar, generally starts with me just sighting the neck. And what I'm looking for is the plane of the neck, the strings in relation to the plane of the neck. I'm looking for any twists or waves. This looks solid. It's got some relief, but I think you tighten that truss rod, you could flatten it out just fine. As far as the neck goes, I love these roasted maples. Nice and slick on the back. They seem to hold up better. I've had a lot of customers that just love them. So a step below torrefied necks, which is when they bake them in a 2000 degrees with zero oxygen. It basically speeds up the aging process of the wood, but it's close. They're very stable. I like that I can access the truss rod from the headstock. As a repairman, that's huge for me. It's not a big deal for me to have to take the neck off to tighten the truss rod, but I'd rather not, if I don't have to. The nut looks like it might be a plastic. I think that's probably like a tusk, which a good upgrade could be going to bone, but it's cut fine. The spacing's right. That's a good string tree like that. I like the locking tuners. Yeah, as far as the neck goes, I think it's solid. A big thing for most players on Partscaster, when they're assembling their own dream guitar, often it evolves around the neck. Size of the frets, the profile of the neck, the feel. A lot of players are assembling their own dream guitar because they can't find this kind of thing on something pre-made. So yeah, take a look at the body. What'd you say though? It was sycamore or something,
American
right?
sycamore.
Is this Warmoth body too?
No, so this is just some like mom and pop, what are those machines? The CNC machines? Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're in a fascinating age as far as guitar part suppliers and CNC machines. When I started here almost 20 years ago, it was a thing, but it wasn't nearly what it is today. It's pretty cool that we can just get online and find whatever wood you want. You can find so many different builders using CNC machines to crank out affordable bodies. You can get a Partscaster and assemble it for very cheap compared to what you could do back in the day.
I wanted it to replicate like a vintage Strat as much as I could. And obviously, like you already pointed out the truss rod, like normally on the vintage Strats, they're down here, but I got the neck where I could do it up there just in case I needed to adjust it myself because I wasn't gonna want to take the neck off either. Yeah. But it still has the same vintage style profile. $1,500, $2,000 compared to a $5,000 custom shop.
No, and that's usually the big debate, and that's the part of the conversation I make sure to have with anybody that's doing this is get what you want out of the guitar and have your specific tailor-made to you, your specs, everything, and end up still way less than you would buying a custom instrument. The big downside is if you ever went to sell this, you've made a guitar that you like. It doesn't have a big brand name on it. It might not be what somebody else likes. So reselling these can be hard. Like if you ever went to sell this, you might have trouble recouping your money.
How is this paint job? Like how would you rate it? What could have made it better? Or is it just like good as it is?
Did you buy this finished or was it bare?
No, so this was bare.
It was bare.
I sanded it a little bit myself. I filled it in myself and then he painted it.
Your teacher painted it?
Yeah.
Okay. Overall it looks pretty good. There's some areas where it looks like maybe we're wearing through a base coat maybe.
Yeah, you can tell like.
Yeah, there's some haze and stuff.
Like right here.
Right in there. Which that's kind of cool.
I think
there's a chip where you can see that base coat a little bit clearer. But for a homemade deal, not bad. Yeah, I've seen some real nightmares and this is not one of them. I like the wear myself.
I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, because you could tell, like, this is where it sits in my lap.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know what
it's
I mean?
probably a nice thin coat. You know, if you used nitro cellulose lacquer or.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, probably like an aerosol. Those aerosol cans, it can be really difficult to not have a little bit of orange peel kind of texture to it. So the wet sanding buffing process can be tricky. I see some evidence of that here and there where it's like almost looks like overspray. Again, that's me being picky. I think you did a good job.
What would you rate it, like 1 to 10, just the paint job?
Paint job? Am I going like full on Dave Portnoy like pizza style review here?
Just overall compared to like how a guitar would come from the factory.
Okay. If I'm comparing this to some of the more like premium factory finish, like top notch, the best I've seen, I'd probably put this in the, I don't know, 5.7 if I were to compare it to the best, I guess. Yeah.
So if you're comparing it to just like other homemade jobs that you've seen,
I'd say somewhere in the 8 range. Some of the homemade jobs I've seen are on the level of some of the real nice factory finishes too. So white is hard too. I am impressed by. Yeah, I mean, as far as the hardware goes on this, I have no complaints. You can't go wrong with the 6-screw vintage style trim. There's a reason you still see it on Fenders to this day. They nailed it right off the bat in '54. So like, I think if you're going for a vintage style Strat, you're doing a good job here. Also like that your tuners they got, you know, that vintage look to them. You're able to replicate the sealed backs kind of like it would have had. So no big thumbnails. It's a more discreet locking tuner. So, and your pickups in here, you got some nice pickups, right?
yeah, the 57, 62 triple S pickups in here.
Yeah, that's a good set. On electric guitar, that's the whole brains of the operation here. Like, that's probably the most important part outside of a good neck, getting it playable. But 90% of your sound's coming from these guys. So
should we double check some of his work here and maybe check the intonation on this thing?
yeah, let's check it out. I mean, I'll start with measuring things out. Again, we're gonna get into some subjective stuff here, but look, sighting this, like I said, like the relief, there's a fair amount of relief in the neck. I'm basically using the string as a straight edge here to check the relief. What I'm seeing is that we should tighten the truss rod and flatten the fingerboard out. Unless you were playing slide, I would say you can really lower the action on this. It's high. So measuring at the 12th fret, it's about 2/16 high at the bass side and about 3/32 on the treble. So it's pretty high action, but again, that depends on the player. So, but in general, most people want as low as they can go, kind of thing. So frets look fine. As far as the intonation goes, that is a step in the process of a setup generally. But say you wanted to keep this action just like it is, we're basically making sure the string is in tune on the open string, and then you fret it at the 12th fret. So we are in tune. It's pretty spot on. If anything, we're just like a little bit flat, which what that means is the saddle needs to go towards the neck a bit, just a tiny bit. So I loosen that screw, it pushed the saddle forward, and basically shorten the distance from here to here. And now I gotta retune it. Also notice I'm holding this in the playing position. A lot of people will come in and be like, when I do this, it's out of tune. And it's because gravity is actually weighing your neck down. You'll notice you could yeah, it's a little out, changes the whole tuning just from gravity. So you always want to do it in the playing position. Another thing that can mess things up is your trim is floating. If I were to rest my palm on this, I could push it out of tune. But when you have a floating trim right like it is now, you gotta stay clear of this. So I could be tuning this, you know, with my palm on there and then let it go, and it's gonna be out. So far that first one's really close. It's pretty good. Yep, we're a little sharp, so I gotta go the other way. Tighten it. Just a little bit. See how much it came out of tune there? It's like all the way up to C. Just from that little bit. Sometimes when you're doing the intonation, you'll get false readings almost, or like the tuner doesn't want to pick it up. What I usually do is start clicking around on different positions on the switch, and all of a sudden the tuner will recognize it better. Roll off the tone. In general, most guitars, if you tune up to pitch rather than down, it's a better way to do it. Gears they grip better when they're tuned up than tuned down, you know. It's looking pretty good. Another thing with intonation is it can depend on how close your pickups are or how strong, especially the magnet is in your pickups. So if you got really powerful, high output pickups, you get them too close to the strings. If you get them too close, they'll actually, it sounds like a fret buzz. You might be doing your intonation and realize that certain strings just seem like they're all really far out when they shouldn't be. A good thing you can do to mess with is lower those pickups down a little bit if that's the case. I just saved you like 5 hours basically. Pro tip.
Appreciate it.
I think it's good. That ping is back. It might be the string tree.
Guys, it looks like we ran into our first issue here. So what can you explain like what you're hearing right now?
It's a little ping. Basically the nut slot is probably too narrow on one of these strings or not cut properly, so it's, as I use the trim, I can hear this little squeak up here. That's telling me that the string is binding up in the nut slot. Usually it means it's too tight. You might notice when that happens that you're tuning up the string to pitch and turning the knob or the button on the tuner, and nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it just jumps way too far forward, and it's because it released at the nut, and then all of a sudden it's sharp when it was flat.
Right.
So every once in a while I get one of these, and I'm using the trim right now, pushing down on it, and I just hear this little mouse squeak up here basically. Now I gotta go through and try and isolate whether it's the string tree or the nut. I think it's just the high E, yeah. So if I fret the high E and still move the trim, it's going away, so that's it. Let's give it a try. Okay. Thought I had it. It was like, sweet. Still at high, just doesn't want to do it. Okay, I'm gonna try one other thing. We're going deep on this one now. I can't say that this is not a problem on Fenders, so no points are being taken away on this project guitar because of this. So this just happens every once in a while, but I do think your string tree is a bit of a problem here. It's probably just got a bit of a burr on the underside, so I think as the string is sliding in this groove, it's basically sawing away at the metal of the string tree and causing some issues. So created a burr in the metal that's pinching the string, or that string is kind of riding along a burr. It's a theory. I'm not sure that that's what this is, but this is an abrasive cord, basically sandpaper on a string. So I'm going to floss this on the bottom side a bit and see if that helps. Just to kind of smooth out this potential burr on the underside here. Let's see if that did it. Yep.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
That was
now.
it. It was a string tree. Problem solved. That was easy.
Is there anything you've seen so far that you would have done differently?
Not really. That's a solid guitar. I mean, you just can't go wrong with the Strat. So
After everything you've seen, what would you rate it? Like 1 out of 10?
1 out of 10, I'd say probably like a 8. And really, that as far as like room for improvement goes, like the finish is a little bit funky, but it's not that bad. Eight's a good number, I think. I think you should be proud of an 8 for sure. Like, 10 is like the almighty, just flawless guitar, which doesn't exist and probably shouldn't either. So,
All right, guys, there you have it. Partscaster, rated by a professional. I think we're gonna take this back to the house and play it a little bit. Thank you for going over everything.
you got it, man.
And fixing that issue with the string tree.
Yeah, easy peasy.
All right, we'll catch you guys back at the house. As you guys can hear, feels, plays, and sounds great. After we clean the neck, put the new strings on, and we fix that little squeak up here at the string tree, it now plays and sounds so beautiful. I don't know if you guys remember, but he did say something about my action being high. This is how it's been since I got the guitar. I've always felt comfortable with the action, so I just told him to leave it. And I think that, you know, action is just personal preference, like Christian was saying. You know, it's all up to you. A lot of people would play a lower action. I just think this feels like really good to me. Even if it does make certain things a little bit harder, I think, you know, at the end of the day, that's just gonna make you a better guitar player. So I choose the hard route, you know what I'm saying? So, man, dude, that's pretty much it for today's video, man. It was cool to have Christian kind of dissect this thing, and I thought it'd be cool for you guys to see, you know, how a Partscaster stands up to maybe a regular Strat or basically any Strat style guitar, any Telecaster guitar, anything like that. And it just goes to show that you can get a really good guitar for a way cheaper price, and it can sound just as good. But with all that being said, I hope you guys learned a little bit today. My name's Nick. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do that before you hop off this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.